Welcome to the FAQ podcast, frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. Subscribe to us on YouTube, anywhere you listen, FAQ podcast. Download, share, send to people. If you want to holler at us, email us, advertise, fuzzyandq@gmail.com. Our next guest was, we just call him the music director, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a huge music act wants to be right, they call him. And we'll talk about it. Like, I mean, from Diddy to Dr.Dre to Rihanna,
Justin
Timberlake, Justin Timberlake, Maroon 5.
All of them. All the shows. All the award shows.
Yes. He is a big deal. We claim him.
To God be the glory.
Yes.
Y'all claim him? You about to say it. Just say it.
He's Jersey, but we claim he's us. He's the soil. He's Philadelphia.
He's a Philly.
I'm East Coast all day,
Yes.
man. Like Jersey, born and raised.
Yeah.
Philly adopted me.
Yes.
And you know, I'm thankful, not to interrupt the intro.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that the West Coast has accepted me.
Hell yeah, we have.
Yes.
Goddamn
Yeah.
right.
We have the legendary Adam Blackstone. Let's go for Adam Blackstone. Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank
What's
y'all.
up, brother?
Man, I'm good. What's up, Q?
Yeah.
Buzz?
Been
What
a
up,
minute.
man?
I'm glad to be here, man. How about that game, yo?
Yeah, it's exciting.
We see you with the
You see-
Super Bowl hoodie.
So that was in my backyard. You know what it is.
Yeah. Shout out to
Come on
SoFi.
now.
Shout out to Inglewood.
Inglewood,
yeah.
man. That stadium is phenomenal.
No, but y'all, the halftime show made the game like that. Y'all was advertising that before we knew who was going to the.
Listen, man, it was what an experience. Like that was my fourth Super Bowl, right?
Woo! Hold on. Say that slow. Say that slowly.
Now listen, so check it out though, but something about Rams being in LA, it being
LA.
you know, us in LA, it being the home of the entertainers that were, you know, Dr. Dre, Snoop, like it wasn't aligned any better, man. It was incredible. So I had an exceptional time putting that together and just enjoying the moment for real. I told Fuzzy the other day, man, we was talking, I was like, you know, I've been 40 years old for about 50 days, something like that. I'm like, I really want to be in and enjoy the moments.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably my biggest difference, you know, that little 10-year challenge type joint. Like the work is coming and it's all good. And I was working a lot then, but like I feel like I was just moving from gig to gig.
Yeah.
And so now, you know, the older I get with my children as well, my wife, I really want to like be in the moment and enjoy it. And Super Bowl this year was one of those things.
that's
straight up.
Let's break down. You know, he's a music director.
What does that mean?
Break down what a music director is.
It's so many jobs, man. Being a musical director, young people don't get to understand when I say it's so much not about music. You know what I'm saying? I have the task of bringing the show artists together and just number one, before anything, let's just get on one page. Let's get on one accord. What type of message are we trying to convey to the viewer? Whether it be in an audience for a concert at a stadium, whether it be at a club and we at little iHeart Theater or something like that, or whether it be for 80 million on television.
Wow.
What do we want to leave the viewer with, the message? Once I do that, and that could be, normally it's like one artist. This one was 5.
Yeah.
Well, 6, you know,
6.
with that special
Surprises.
guest,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
surprise. But, you know, and then number 2, my task as a musical director is everything live oriented for the music. It goes through me. So arrangement, sketches. I have to put the medleys together. I have to chop it up. Sound effects. How we gonna get in and out transitions, in and out of the song. How long each artist is going to be able to perform. See, I don't know if you realize that, but I don't know if you realize that, but Super Bowl show was 13 minutes, 30 seconds, but we got 5, 6 artists. It's like, wait a minute.
And
like,
it felt longer, but it wasn't.
Exactly. So like that's my task. And you know, another good thing that I try to impart into the young MDs coming up is like you got to know everybody's part. You know what I'm saying? Me as a bass player is cool, but I need to know what the guitar player is supposed to be playing, the keyboard player, the drummer, Pro Tools, all of that.
You can't mess up.
And
It's
a lot of pressure, but I thrive on that, and I'm good at that. I think that's why I've worked so much in this industry. Honestly, is because I handle the pressure well, and then I make the artist feel comfortable. And my team, there's no great MD without the team, because other people are definitely doing some programming and doing some mixing and doing all of that. And because I have to now came from a meeting I told Fuzzy the other day. It's like they just wanted to look at the lights to my music, and it's like that's all on me as well because they're hitting cues with the lights. So I have to be able to trust my team and my partners that's in the band. Like, yo, if I need you to go record this part, you know, my team is strong, so we all come together, man. And I get the credit when it's good, but I get the credit when it's bad too.
Yeah, you're the first line of defense, bro.
You're the quarterback.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, you know.
So do you have the same, you know, band members that you're going from, you know, show to show with, or is it like, okay, well, maybe the way this person hits the drums doesn't go well with this?
We talked about that the other day.
Yeah, so totally, man. I try to do what's best for the music, for the artist, and for the situation. Ooh. Now, thankfully, I feel like my squad is all the best at what they do individually. So, you know, you can insert a drummer at any time, and he can play country, hip-hop, R&B, whatever. This specific task, if we talk about the Super Bowl, what I decided to do was to, with the 5 artists that were announced, use one person from each of their bands. And so, like I said, we're going to go back to comfortability. One of my jobs, my main job, is to make the artist feel comfortable when they walk in the room. And that's how you also sell your arrangement. We call that like a producer, Pharrell. He turned that volume up in the studio. Dre turned that volume up in the studio, and the beat just sound better to you. So my Jedi mind trick is always walk in a room and you know somebody that you trust.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
That has familiar face.
A familiar face. Now that has been me, which is great, but now just add familiar faces to that. So I chose Omar Edwards on keys, who has been my partner for a long time, but he also MDs Mary J. Blige.
There you go.
Trevor Lawrence on drums. This is my first time that was my first time working with Trevor, but he's been with Dre in the studio.
He's a part of that whole aftermath.
He's a part of Aftermath. Devin Webster plays second drum kit, percussion. He's been with Eminem for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Monty Newble on auxiliary keys. He's been with Snoop and Mary for a gang of years. And then the guitar player, who's the youngest and the baby out the group, Rob G., he has played with Kendrick since he was 18. So it's like, you know, and then I'm just kind of like the curator of it all, and thankfully I've been able to work with all of those artists as well. But once they walk in that room and see somebody familiar, they like, oh, this is gonna be right. And that's half the battle. That's more than half for us because they trust it. They trust. Oh, I had a different opinion, but because everybody in this room is on the same page, I'm a rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
What was your first break into being that go-to, right? Because it's just, I've seen you on the floor. I've seen you at the Soul Train. I'm like, oh, well, that's, you know, that's what Adam does.
Man, it did not happen fast.
Yeah.
I've been in the game, you know, I'm going to say, you know, 20 years now, with this being 22. So moved to Philly in 2000, went to school, University of Arts.
Oh, wow. Okay. But been playing bass since you was a kid, though, right?
Since I was a kid, I was playing drums, a little bit of keyboard. My dad's a keyboard player, incredible musician. You know, what we would call now like a wedding band, one-man band. He do everything from church, afternoon banquets, to bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, funerals, celebrations, all of that. He was that guy. And as I think about it, I did an interview the other day. I was saying, like, he's really like the first MD I saw because he would curate his own set lists.
Oh, you were seeing it firsthand.
Yeah, but at that time, I didn't even know what that was called. I was just like, oh, my dad do that. You know what I mean? Incredible musician and definitely a huge influence on me. And then my family as well sang through church all my life. And my uncle and cousin, like, got record deals early and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so when I moved, that's all in Jersey. When I moved to Philly in 2000 to go to school, I was a jazz major playing a lot of upright bass. And I knew I wanted to do music, but I didn't know in what capacity because I didn't know the title of what it was. I was thinking, like, I'm a gamer. I love video games. Maybe I'll do music for video games. My mom's a teacher. Maybe I'll teach music. Mm-hmm. I love jazz. Maybe I'll go on a road with a jazz artist. Man, moved to Philly. Went to this open mic spot called the 5 Spot, bro.
5 Spot was legendary for us.
Legendary
like,
for us.
Everybody would pull up, huh?
This was the beginning of Neo Soul. This is like, you got Music Soul Child, you got Bilal, you got Erykah Badu, she's coming to town.
Jill.
You got John Legend's going to school.
Yeah.
Like, And
Jill
you
Scott, The Roots, and then I met Sean G,
Shout out to Sean
Rich
G.
Rich Nichols, and
Oh,
Questlove.
you right there.
And man, they really adopted me, and that's why I say Philly adopted me, man, for early. At that time too, listen, the Roots, who had been killing, were just getting a little bit of the like television notoriety or like fame. They had been, listen, we all know Reek can just go. He's one of the best lyricists ever.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay-Z had tapped in with Amir to do the Unplugged album. Remember,
for MTV.
For MTV Unplugged, and the Roots were his backing band. Once that happened, man, and Amir was the MD, I still call him. I say, that's my MD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We did what was Jay-Z's farewell concert.
What, you played in
Fade
that
to
band?
Black. So that was my first big gig, man. Madison Square Garden, 2003. Fade to Black.
That was your first
like big joint, you know.
That's an industry. That's a real gig.
Yeah, no, and it turned into a freaking movie. You know what I'm saying? And so that was like,
so that's how I saw you on stage with Quest, even on the Dave Chappelle.
So yeah, I just had been rolling with,
Now it makes sense.
we were calling ourselves like the Philadelphonics, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't a Roots thing. They for sure Roots crew, and them is my big brothers. But when Amir being an MD and having different people involved in different instruments, we were calling ourselves the Philadelphonics. And so doing everything from Jay-Z to Dave Chappelle Block Party to early Kanye. To Black Star with Most, and then going on OK Player tours. Like that was my introduction into the game, and I always just had an affinity for pop music. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of leaned different, not necessarily pop like Britney Spears at the time, but like
popular.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so man, I got the call to I was doing Jill Scott. Shout out to Jill. I owe a lot to her as well. That was one of the first big stages that I was able to do that she trusted me to like be MD for, and we did Sugar Water tour. It was her, Erykah Badu, and Queen Latifah.
Oh my God!
So
That's a good,
huge,
I remember that
huge
tour.
summer festival.
Yep.
And I remember Sean G calling me, man. This is when him and G. Roberson and Al Branch had like and Tez like really linked up.
The Voltron crew, I call them.
And he said, yo, I got a new client. His name Kanye West. He been doing this thing, and at the time, my partner Omar and A-Track and Kareem Riggins was out with him, but I think he was trying to expand, and he wanted a big band. I think Omar was out with Common or Jay. And, man, I went to Ye's crib up in the hills, and we vibed, and we had a great conversation, and
It's crazy.
but not even to harp on that, but Fade to Black for me, 2003, Jay-Z, that introduced me to Pink Polo Ye. That introduced me to Young Fly B, first solo album, you know what I'm saying? That introduced me to Mary. She came and sang Hard Knock Life.
Right. On that.
That introduced me to Jay Brown, who then was like signing Rihanna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I got the call for Reed, that introduced me to my light skinned homie Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Janet Jackson came to the Drake show, that introduced me to Janet. So it's like one relationship, one gig after another. And so I always tell people, man, you have to put 100% in all that you do. It don't matter if you at the jazz club.
Yeah.
You don't know who gonna be there. When I went to the open mic, I didn't know the Roots ran that joint. I just was like, this is an opportunity to play great music, and I want to show how good that I want to be. So one thing leads to the next. You never know what you're doing. You got to give you 100. You got to give you 100% in those relationships, and then in those environments at all times.
Were you still in school in 03 when you did the Jay-Z?
I was still in school, man, and so
and I got to tell you this real quick, Fuzz. University of the Arts is like where all the super talented people that really didn't have to go to school, but they went to school. And it's like
for their craft.
For their craft. And whether you had so many talented people that come from that school. It's closed down now, right?
No. So University of Arts is still open. It's the college version of Kappa.
Yes.
And so it's still there. Heavy jazz influence, but because of how hip hop and R&B and soul has become pop, they're changing their curriculum. So shout out to University of Arts, UArts, man. And I remember having to have that conversation with my mom, 03, the end of 03, because I was technically graduating in 04. You know what I'm saying? I said, Mom, Jay-Z want me to go on tour with him. She said, who? Wow. I said, but I promise you, I'm going to get my degree. I promise you. Yeah. She said, listen, you can do what you do, follow your dreams, do what you want. You know, her and my dad was cool, but it was like, but you got to get that degree. I'm not letting you go unless you tell me you're going to get your degree. And so fast forward, right? There's a 10-year stipulation on your thing. The school called me 2013. It was like, so your credits are running out in this next semester.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What'd I do?
You went back to school?
Went back to school. Got my joint from my mama, yo. Straight
up. Are you
up.
serious?
Yeah, man. I was in the middle of
I would say you in the thick of it.
I was in the thick of it. 2013, I would have been starting Justin Timberlake. And I went to school for and they gave me my joint and had me be the honorary speaker as well for the honorary. And you know, that was a big deal to my mom. Like, all that I had done before that was cool. But she came out to that school and we was taking pictures. Yeah. Oh man. So that was one of my proudest moments, just to say I completed a version of that for my mom.
And you honored it.
And that's really what it's about, man, having your word.
So you say you would have been starting Justin Timberlake, so you had to turn down?
No, I made it happen, but it was a lot. Crazy. I remember the school giving me dates, and they were like, "Okay, cool. This is what we're going to do. Every rehearsal you have, we'll use that as like a credit or something." You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
my God, you were working.
So I was like, "Man, I could have been graduated then." We talking about that, like, you know what I'm saying? But it was interesting, man. But that's something I wanted to do to honor my mom, and for me, school. You know, I ain't have the bass skills like a lot of these other just killer bass. Me and you talk about bass players all the time. Yeah. Especially out here, like I listen to Damo and B-Dub and Ethan Farmer and so many other people, Eric Ingram and, you know, Johnny Goods. It's too many to name, like Swole and JJ. I was never like that guy. So when I went to school, I said, what can I do well? It's like I read music really good. So you
learned that in school, reading music?
I did. So that let me go into the studio and like hone into something real fast, whether it was like movie soundtracks. I did a lot of movie soundtracks early in my career because it was just like plop the paper in front of me, I can go. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is now with these shows, so BET Awards, Soul Train, you know, Oscars, all of that, you have to move so fast. So I was able to write charts for everybody. And it was like, boom, here's the bumper for this. And we're going to play off on this. And then the next one, we're going to this segment. And this was the song. So, you know, I was that guy too. So it was like, you know, the technical side of it for me was a little bit superseded my skill set. Right. Like, you know, just to like be just a killing player. Cause I was trying to do everything. Yeah. I really was trying to do everything. I wanted to be on stage, but I also knew, like, if I wanted to be on television, it requires a different thing. And I also knew if I wanted to be on records, it required a different thing. You know what I mean?
But you have the advantage, because I know a lot of cats that can play very well by ear, but don't know how to read music. So then when they get a TV gig, they probably got, you know.
It's a little harder. For me, it would be a little harder just to even, especially in my older age. Maybe when I was young, I could compartmentalize a little different, but now that I can read that music and write that chart, I can forget that song right after it's done. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that sheet music is the roadmap. It's the cheat sheet. It's a book. So instead of memorizing your favorite book, if you pull out the Bible or you pull out whatever, it's like, yo, like go to your favorite passage or on sheet music, go to your song. Boom, you can read it. Yeah, you internalize it and put your own feel into it, but because you got 1,000 more songs to play after that, I'm able to, you know, put that behind me by just knowing how to read music. But so I encourage every musician, man,
to do that.
Any instrument, I don't care what you do, like that's an asset to your gift.
And that's different than if you were on tour doing a set. A lot of times those guys don't read music on.
Yeah, no, I mean, and even when I do Justin and all of that, we're on stage, or Rihanna's like, we're on stage, no music and stuff like that. But I will say, for me to cross over into a television space, it was definitely needed.
Only group I've seen done it, being on tour and have sheet music is Steely Dan.
Yeah, because they create they stuff no matter who's playing. They wanted to sound.
Just
I don't care who playing sax, trumpet.
I'm talking about even the
like,
drummer is on.
Yeah. So
almost
sometimes it'd be like that, but trust me, them dudes groove and they internalize what that sheet music is doing. That's the other thing too that gave me the advantage at school was like because of my church background and stuff like that. I was able to navigate through the charts like I was
feeling it out.
Yeah, I was feeling it.
So sometimes you can't ad lib.
For sure,
everybody does that.
Yeah. If it's a chord sheet or something, like put yourself into the music. You know what I mean?
So why are all majority? And I asked you this the other day. Why are majority of the MDs, musical directors, are bass players and big black bass players? Am I right?
I mean, it.
Other than Ricky Minor, he's a small guy, but
yeah. But shout out to Ricky, man. He's one of the first to me bass MDs and killing.
Yeah.
But one of the things I told you was that we're able to use our hands and come off of our instrument and still create sound. So it's like if I have to cue something or whatever, I'm still kind of able to play my instrument and or if I'm stopping the band or if I have to use my feet, like on a talk back or if I'm talking, I can still play. So I can cue with the neck of my bass, bow, like you know what I'm saying. So it's like some of those things, and then physically, sometimes where we're in front of the band, like the guitarist or whatever. So if you're the keyboard player, you might be on the side, not on the side, but even with in the back on a riser or something like that, unless you're playing like grand piano or something like that. So and then so that's the physical part about bass playing MD. We have a little bit of an advantage. Harmonically now, and this music geek talk, but like we're able to control what chord you're playing by a different root note at all times. So, I like to use the analogy there's no wrong notes because like if I play something confidently over top of a different chord, but it still could feel right because I'm executing what that root note is. Now, I ain't saying we don't mess up sometimes, but sometimes when you're controlling the environment musically, sonically, bass is like the foundation.
It is the foundation.
So, we're able to kind of tell the artist or tell the groove where to go by laying a bass line. I think that's great leadership as well.
So let's go back. Like you do the Super Bowl, you do a lot of award shows. Is this music that you're creating, right? You're creating because we as viewers, we just hear the music like, oh, that's the music.
Yeah.
You're creating that music specifically, right?
Yeah, I mean, me and my team for sure, like, the Super Bowl process is a little different, but it's like, because I remember, if I'm being 100, like, Dre didn't really tell me what songs to pick. You know what I'm saying? He told me what he wanted to do, but as far as like Kendrick, Mary, it was like what you feel fit in this 13, 14 minutes. So sometimes I'm creating original score, which is the transitions and stuff that me and my team and my programmers, a killing team might do. But a lot of it for me is curating the set list over anything. And that's what I'm super involved in and how we get in and out of songs.
First song, last song.
For sure. I want my joint to always feel like a movie. Like that's where my sound, my BBE sound comes from. It's like I want you to want to watch the film, you want the intro, because what you remember in the movie, the beginning and the end. I'm not saying the middle is nothing, but that middle just kind of floats you to tell a story. Yeah. So sonically, I want my stuff to feel like that always, like the bigness of it. I've been using orchestra hits and strings a lot, even over hip hop and big drums and stuff like that. Like I've been doing that for a long time, and so curating the set list more than anything has been like a big task for me. And the artists now, because they know my track record, they just be like, "Oh,
you got it.
Do your thing."
Because a lot of times, by me being a music supervisor, also a lot of times we have to lean on like Adam, like just to all right. Let's give us the demo or the sketch, like. to see what it's gonna feel like.
Always. When I work
time it out.
When I work on the shows, Fuzz or like Ricky or Jesse Collins or anybody like any of the networks, is Glenn Weiss. It's like they saying, so what's the timing of the segment? They don't necessarily even know the song that's being performed. They want to know, what did I put together
and
for this 3 minute and 30 seconds.
Let's talk Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When do you get the call for the Super Bowl, and what's the process of that 13 minutes and 30 seconds? Is it like Dre and it's like, yo, I want it to feel like this, and you gotta go, all right, so that's this song with this song mixed with that song?
So ironically enough, last year's Super Bowl, which would be 2021, I did the national anthem. I didn't do halftime with the weekend.
Jasmine Sullivan.
I did
correct?
Jasmine Sullivan.
I think she's from Philly. I
think she's from Philly.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
You get it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Shout out to Jasmine Sullivan and the Philly boys.
Yeah.
215 stay alive.
That's it. So I'm about to say something that has never been said before.
Easy call.
That was supposed to be Mary J. Blige and Chris Stapleton.
Wow, okay.
And it turned because of Mary's schedule. And look how God works, because now I don't even know if she knew she was doing the Super Bowl the following year. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So because of her schedule, it didn't work out. Jay-Z made the call to Jasmine. I think per the wife, I'm saying that, Jay, I'm sorry. I think his wife had a lot to do with that. But and Eric Church, who is just an incredible country artist. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to combine the world. Our world was going through a lot, man. Racial division.
Yeah.
And we still are. But, at that time, we was in the heat of it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what better way to merge those worlds with our nation's song, and then also with a prominent black and Caucasian, even genre-specific country artists, man, that they blazed that joint. And I was honored to put that arrangement together. So I'm fast-forwarding into this year, and this is not a flex at all. I don't like to do this.
Nah, this is truth.
I text Jay-Z. I said, yo, I got a great idea for next year. He said, shoot. He don't text off a lot of words.
Yeah,
He's very short.
Yeah.
Shoot. I said, L.A. next year, Dr. Dre. He said, I've been on that. Like,
yeah, what you talking about?
Late.
You late.
Yeah.
I think he might have just said you late or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
Done.
not. I don't know if it was done, but it was like in motion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, like, you know how you ever think that you got this great idea?
Yeah.
And listen, real quick, artists, if y'all think of something, just do it. Because somebody else is thinking about it, and it will come out, and you be like, I've been thought about that, and you just don't execute it. So, that's one of those things where it's like, I thought I had this brilliant idea, and I still think the idea was brilliant because we were obviously on the same page, but it was already in motion, meaning somebody had that idea.
Yeah, they were talking about it.
They was talking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
that Dr. Dre call, first of all, is not a last minute. Hey, in 2 months, you going to do that?
No. He don't work like that. And Fuzzy, you know better than anybody possibly. It takes him a mental second to even wrap his mind around what he wants to do creatively. Mm-hmm. He mixed his own records for years. So it's like you can't just go to him on the last minute. So I actually sent that text out to Jay like right after last year's Super Bowl when you said, how does the call happen? So that might have been March, April. Dre hit me over the summer and was like, hey, me and Jimmy sitting down and we talking about this, would you be down? I said, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it kind of went into full motion September, October.
Yeah, Dre and Jimmy.
Wow.
I heard Mary say she got a call from Jimmy Iovine and put Dre on the phone with Mary. It was like, that's how she got the call too.
Yeah.
So they were hands-on calling people about doing the Super Bowl.
So I remember like it was always Dre and Snoop, and then they were trying to fill it out. You know what I'm saying? The one of Dre's biggest assets is that he can call anybody, and he's had his hand
in a lot of
people's career. So as y'all saw on the Super Bowl, we used Dre as the curator, as the orchestrator, we had
in his element.
In his own element with the engineering, the board and all that. But he was the finesser of each. If you look at these people, he's touched their careers in such a major way. Yeah. And I remember also Desiree Perez, shout out Des from Rock Nation. You know, when the original call went through, she was like, "Oh, we gotta have some girl power up there." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we gonna make that happen. And it just made much sense with one of Mary's biggest records being produced by Dr. Dre, you know, with
all the hits.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang hits.
Yeah, so about September, October, you start to wrap your mind about what it is. Thanksgiving is probably when they want to start talking music and like really hear what the concept is and what the creative is. So it is not a...
So that conversation leads with Dre because he's the main one kind of curating the moment.
Yeah,
like we did see it, you know, in the Super Bowl. So,
but also, you know, like I said, he's relying on, you know, Dre got an incredible support system musically specifically, and he relies on them and us to be like, what y'all think Kendrick should do, or what should Mary do, and you know, I'm an R&B head, you know what I'm saying? I don't make no qualms about it. You know, I am an R&B fanatic. So even when the Mary thing came through, I was like, yo, how can we give her this first singing moment of the Super Bowl?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she killed it, man.
What's the rehearsals like? Well, like, is it a week, 2, 3?
I wish. Nah, man. We were in rehearsal since December 17th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it is it twice, 3 times a week? Like what's
we go about 5 days a week. We go 5 days a week. So listen, people used to kill me, right, Fuzz? Like I'm a drill sergeant in rehearsal. But what happens is it becomes so second nature by January 17th, right?
Yeah.
That we having fun at the rehearsals. You know what I'm saying? Fuzz came through one time.
I pulled up and I don't know what the hell I was about to watch. It was so much security, police.
Yeah.
So you guys are because you told me you went, you know, to SoFi. So you guys are rehearsing in the actual stadium.
So we start at a rehearsal studio,
Yep.
you know, like a center staging type of place. We then move to Barker Hangar, or a place of the size that we can just see the set. Because remember, this is our first time seeing it. We got the schematics with Dre's vision. We got a deck with the pictures, but before you could really like touch it, you don't want it to be at the stadium because if there's any changes to happen, we want to be able to do it before we get to the stadium.
Okay.
So we were at Barker Hangar, Santa Monica, the airport joint, the old airport joint, for about a week. Yeah. And then we moved over to SoFi for about another week.
That's where I went. I went to the hangar.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I told Dre when I walked in, he saw me. He's like, "What's up, Fuzz?" I'm like, I said, "You know, the last time I was in here," he said, "No, when?" I said, "When you did
Keep your ear
Coachella."
Oh. So that's where we rehearsed for Coachella.
Yeah,
that's where we saw the hologram for the first time.
Wow.
That's where I saw the hologram. I'm like,
Okay.
I was fucked up. I'm like, wow.
I think it's just important. Like we talk, people look at the Super Bowl and they don't think that it took 13 minutes. It's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
no.
That's
it's a
whole 4-month process, and every day too. It ain't easy. It's not easy at all. And I'm blessed, man. Like my support system, my team, and like I keep bringing it up, but you know, each experience leads to the next thing. So my first bowl with Justin really prepared me for the ones after that because it was like
Justin only did the Super Bowl once, right?
Well, he did it twice.
Yeah. He did it twice.
I wasn't a part of
the Janet Jackson.
A part of the Janet one, nah.
Yeah. So what year did you do the Super Bowl?
Why you started trouble, bro?
I'm just trying. I'm like, yo, he did do it twice.
I saw Adam like, I did it.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't around, and I was.
Oh, that's when he wore the Jordans. I was hating on that Super Bowl performance.
2018, man. He had them tinkers.
He had them tinkers.
Yes,
I was like, I couldn't stop. I'm like, yo, he got his own, and I tried to. They released it that same night, and I missed it. I was pissed.
Yeah, I gotta make a call for you, bro. What size?
11 and a half.
11.
Threes are my favorite.
11.
I'm gonna see what I can
11.
do. I'm gonna see what I can do.
11 and 11 and a half. I just want to get that in the clear.
Right,
11 and 11 and a half.
All right. So that was your first Super Bowl when he did that.
2018.
That was
Yeah.
dope. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But like I said, man, that stage is unlike no other. It's the biggest show in the world that you're cramming a concert into a football game.
Yeah.
Because don't get it twisted. We here talking about this music and it's incredible, but we had a football game first.
Yeah.
The NFL is like, we want y'all to know this is all cool and all of that, no matter who it is. And ain't just Black or Jared Dre. They said it to Justin. They said it to Shakira. Like, you know, J-Lo is like, Tom Brady has to come on this field in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
hurry up.
Let's make this thing.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford needs to warm up in 9 minutes. Let's get
stop
this.
playing.
Yeah. Let's get this moving.
How do you get the acoustics right? for that moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be on big stages in the past through concert venues and know what it feels like. The other thing that COVID helped me with, the COVID downtime, was pre-recording and still getting a live
sound.
A live
You're
feel.
really great at that, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really pride myself on that. Like, I like to hear what you see. But when we were in COVID, I couldn't sit and touch my homies or like vibe with the drummer. So it was like, how can we do that remotely but still feel like what
Together.
we're doing? So I use that same concept when I'm doing these type big Super Bowl shows. You know what I'm saying?
So let's go in order. So Justin Timberlake's first. Who's second?
Shakira, J-Lo.
You did that.
I did that.
That's a lot to look at.
Bad
That's a lot of talent to look at when you're playing behind them, bro.
Yeah, man. That was
J-Lo and
Shakira,
It's
man.
a lot. It's a lot of bottom end. Go ahead.
It's a
Keep
lot.
going. Another bass reference. A lot of bottom end. A lot of low end.
A lot of low end.
Yeah.
A lot of low end.
low end.
The
Go
next one I did last year, man, was I did Star Spangled Banner for Jasmine and Eric Church, and that allowed me to watch The Weeknd. And so I was
that was a different.
I was a different joint. That was a different joint. He made that for TV, and I was like, okay, I get it, because I honestly,
That prepped you for this year then, probably.
well, before The Weeknd, man, I don't know how many. Justin, though, too. Now,
yeah.
Justin was one of them ones where he was the first time he utilized the entire
Field.
stadium.
Okay.
So he came from
Yeah.
section 290, came down to the field, went to the. I'm sorry, I'm lying.
Hold on.
He started in the VIP box underneath the joint.
Was Justin the year the Eagles won?
Eagles
Bro,
won,
how
bro.
big was that?
Listen, I
Bro.
cried like a baby after.
Cause you see, you
I
had
had
the game.
My team was there. That's how I know how Dre and Snoop and y'all felt.
Yeah, when
With the
we
Rams.
there.
You know
Yeah,
what
we
I'm saying?
there.
Like with the Rams making it, it's like it's no other feeling, bro.
Because when you said that, it hit me. I remember Freddie Mitchell.
Yes.
He walked. Freddie Mitchell was a player.
Freddie Mitchell was like, "Can't stop the feeling." He
Yeah.
was in the Joe, like, repping Eagles, had his hoodie on and all of
So
that.
that's what. So you're a fan. You're able to watch your team win the
My
Super Bowl and be a
team
part
won
of
the
it.
Super Bowl. I remember going there about 3 p.m.
That's a
and
good one.
Brent Selleck was there. He's like, "Yo, Adam." So I like walked in the end zone, not supposed to, but they was warming up. Like we dapped and hugged, but it's like, yo, that's my team. Like me and my dad, like after church, we running home to watch the Eagles. I didn't think that could happen in my lifetime. Then Carson got hurt, and then it was like Nick Foles, and then he just started playing the one game of his life, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
I realized with football right there, I'm a huge NBA fan too, and we'll talk about that. But like football, you need one day to be the best.
And that's it. That's
it. It ain't no series. It's a team sport, but you need one day to be the best. And Nick Foles that day was the best quarterback on the field, man.
Did you go to? Because I saw Michael Blackstone. They like partying with the Eagles afterwards.
So check this out. After that, man, this is what I mean about being in the moment, trying to be more in the moment. Now we left at the third quarter. Jimmy Fallon was taping in Minneapolis that year, and we went and did Fallon that night. Whole new wardrobe, whole new song, all of that. I couldn't even soak up the joint. But when I got there, me, James Poyser, the Roots. I mean, we crying. The Eagles had just won. I'm listening to it on my phone or watching it on Twitter because we on a tour bus going to the next gig.
So y'all left and did Jimmy Fallon?
We left and did Jimmy Fallon the night of the Super Bowl, bro. Crazy.
Because it's on NBC, and then they do the roll like, after the Super Bowl, Jimmy Fallon live from
NBC, man. I mean, live from Minneapolis, man. And it was like, it was incredible, but that's one of them moments, like, I look back now, me being 40 now, I'm like, how dope would that have been, to have a Kevin Hart moment, like, right to the, but that would have been me, too. Like, no, I'm from Philly. Like, this is my team. Yeah.
I didn't be on that field.
Field. But I had a pass and all that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, no, I'm getting on this.
I was telling Adam, I said, I was telling him, I said, you got to document or take pictures more.
Yeah.
Like, Q and I, we were around a lot of great things. I know I have a camera that, I'm allowed to shoot. I'm in some great rooms a lot.
For sure.
And I almost brought I was going to break out my camera doing a rehearsal. I'm like, I don't want to get kicked out.
Yeah.
I probably was, saying.
Yeah.
So I know I probably would have got a pass, but I'm like, I don't want to be that guy though.
Right.
So I saw a moment. We walked out. Dre, you and I, we all walked out, and you came out with a bass.
Yeah.
A custom bass.
Yeah, man.
And I was there when you like Dre signed it for you.
Yep.
And you having like a kid moment. You like, it was a big deal.
It was a huge deal, man. So I teamed up with my guy Mikey and another designer, Jermaine Henson, and then Icon Graphic Images. I just signed with Fender maybe about 2 years ago, and that's been a dream and a blessing as well. But for each of my Super Bowls, I've had a custom themed thing. So the first one I just had my son, so I had my son plastered all over the first base. The second one was just kind of like a Miami Nights type of vibe with J-Lo and Shakira. So this one, man, I had for us to have the first ever announced hip hop headliners. I wanted to put them on my bass, but in a very special way. So I cartoon characterized them, but then also surrounded them with my favorite hip hop artists who have been influential to myself.
Yeah.
So I gotta look at it, but I can show y'all and I'll send you a picture. But
Nas, Nipsey.
Oh, it's like a Low End Theory.
Lauren, like was Fox? Was
So here's the final one.
Yeah.
Name everybody on. Let me see if you can name everybody on
Go
there.
ahead, Q. I seen it. Did you get anybody else? Did you get Kate out to sign it yet?
Yeah, I got everybody so far.
Everybody got.
Everybody.
Oh wow,
All right.
wow.
So I see. Is that Gucci Man? No, that's Gucci Man. We got Quavo. We got Questlove.
Can't deny the influence of Southern hip hop.
Yeah,
You know?
of course.
Black Thought, Tupac, Cardi, 50, Missy, LL, Nipsey, Meek, Snoop, Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, T.I., Mary, Drake, Future, Eminem, Kanye, Pharrell, Diddy, Jay, Nas, Dre, Kendrick, Cube, Biggie, Outkast,
Get Q to sign it. That'd be hard.
and you. Yeah, come on. I do this.
No, I'm saying.
Right.
But I'm saying, but it's I saw that moment of.
Yeah, man. I called it like my 30 for 30. Like these people have.
Who
So
designed that?
what do you do with that? You have this signed base. You just frame it, plexiglass.
So already Hard Rock has reached out to buy it from me.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Oh, I would have had two bass. I would have had two of them.
Well, see, I don't know. We might have to cut here, but like I think I'm gonna just get another one made.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
They want to buy it from you so they can own it.
like 10 racks, yo.
Nah, that's more than 10
Yeah,
racks. So
'cause
you
you-
can stop
yeah.
it playing.
I'm kind of
Stop
like
playing.
I
I'm
don't
holding on to
know,
it for a couple years.
Yeah.
but I can get another.
Yeah, oh yeah, got you.
So I'm like,
those
don't want to
switcheroony.
pay for my kids' tuition for a year, or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's a
We'll
good.
talk
That's
So
a,
you out here now?
No, man, I'm
you need to
home.
move out to LA,
Never.
bro. I like this hoodie. See, you
Thank
need
you,
to
bro.
move here, man.
Thank you.
I need it. You got a double X?
Swag. I got you.
I need a double X. I see the logo.
Yeah, man. So this is LA with the Aftermath logo.
All right, that's why I wanted.
That's
hard.
Little BBE on there. But nah, I don't live in LA. I'm here a lot for work,
Yep.
and I'm super thankful for the West Coast looking out for me when I'm here. You know, everybody from Rance to Nissan Stewart. You know, he always looks out. Warren Campbell.
All guests from
guys.
FAQ podcast.
For sure.
Yeah, man. They really, you know, the girls, Mary, like they look out. Of course, Dre, and but they look out for me. Like those is who I call when I land here. You know.
Do you
what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
you would be more busy with work if you came to LA? If you lived in LA?
No, I feel it would be a different kind of work because I think I would purposely shift what I was doing to more television and film because of the location. But one thing COVID has taught us, man, is that you don't have to be anywhere to get the job done.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. And I try to tell a lot of cats, you know, not hating on LA, but it is expensive to be here. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I live in Delaware. And you know, for the property that I have, I couldn't get half of that being out here. You know what I'm saying? So
the family.
I'm not trying to tell people to leave LA, but like, you know, chase your dreams, make some connections out here, you know, develop relationships. But then once you infiltrate what you're trying to do and be the best you that you can be, I don't think the location matters as much. That's
Yeah,
That's
especially
my
now.
personal opinion. Yeah,
Especially
especially now. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
we wrestle.
I don't know
wrestle
if
with.
I don't know if I could have said that 10, 15 years ago, but
Yeah.
you know, New York and LA was the hot spots. But it's like I see the boom from Philadelphia, like when Neo Soul started, and then it was like people were coming there. So, you know, Jazzy Jeff Studio, you could have anybody from Tamia to Eric Benet to Erykah Badu. Like, they ain't live in Philly, but it was like they wanted that vibe, that sound. So I'm thankful that people who want me to work with them and want my sound and stuff, they'll get me to where I need to go.
Yeah,
Adam,
you know
what's
what I'm saying?
like? So you're really great being a musical director, but what about when you want to make your own records? Like you want to put out stuff, like as an artist or
Yeah, as
what,
a producer, it's interesting, man. Like, you know, there was a crossroads in my career where I was producing a heck of a lot and on stage a lot. And as my demand went up for MD, so did the responsibility on stage. So it's cool to have a lot of calls and a lot of gigs, and that's a blessing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But my responsibility for those shows and for those productions got increased as well. Like I said,
you're very hands-on.
I have to be, man.
You have
and
to
I
be.
have to be. I'm going to the dance rehearsals. I'm going late night to the artist's compound to talk about mixing records or to see, you know, where Janet might want to do some dance thing or where Rihanna has a wardrobe change or, you know, Justin
Fill up time or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there was a crossroads in my career, you know, late 2000s where, you know, I had the opportunity to do some more production, and I don't want to say I chose because as a musician you want to do everything, but I was leaning more toward the live, and so I really want to get back into songwriting, not just for the creative element, but for the residual element as well. legacy, man, like for sure, and you know, that matters, man, especially with children now. It's like the gig is incredible. This gig is incredible. I'm so thankful. God,
grateful.
Super Bowl is incredible. But once it's over, it's not necessarily paying me again.
But what does it happen this often where, say you and Justin Timberlake are on stage and there's a moment where the band can catch a groove?
Yeah.
And Justin may like, I want this as a song. Does that happen? Like,
so
when you guys create live and
I mean,
let's take it to the studio
for sure. So like, you know, Ree has done that a lot. Justin has done that a lot. But because of the state of the world right now, we haven't been able to do that. So it's like, I would even say the last 12 years, it's like send me the beat. You feel what I'm saying? How many producers have y'all had on here where they ain't even meet the artists?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's like I have joints, you know, I'm working with, I think she's from LA, Mars. New girl Mars. She's so cold, but like her label just asked me to send beats. It's like we don't gotta be in the room.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rihanna, I've seen her make a whole record with incredible production. She may not even know who did the beat.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like as far as their face,
Yep.
I'm saying not that she don't know who did it, but and that's happened, you know, time and time after again, because of technology, now because of COVID, and then also because of the vibe. Like, you know, Mary J. Blige is one of those artists where she cuts her vocal alone. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Or there could be certain artists that, you know, Jasmine Sullivan, she don't necessarily need nobody there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, send her the beat. If she vibing with it, if she rocking with it, that pen start going, you good. You might look up and have a placement. You know what I mean? So I want to get back into that, man. It's my path has just got me on a different road right now, and a road that people would die for.
Hell
You
yeah,
know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? So this is not a slight to anything that I'm currently doing. I have some really big things coming up, and I'm so excited about. And good production is time consuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Warren Campbell told me, man, he's one of my mentors. He said, like, yo, I had to like stop playing for Brandy for people and her label and maybe even her to be like, yo, no, he's my producer, or he's a great producer. You know what I'm saying? I'm at that crossroads, so I got to figure it out.
I feel
I don't have.
And then also you're being called for some big gigs.
It's like, yo,
And you're the sought after, like.
So that's why
You're
I'm
the
building
go-to
my
guy.
team now,
Yeah.
man. I got some great, incredible producers, live production people, and programmers, and I'm always looking for the next, and putting them on. Like I'm all about like bigging up the next crew.
How do you balance all of this? Right, it's amazing, and then you have a life back home
For sure.
that is very demanding because I know how many you have 2 kids?
I have 2 children,
So you have 2 kids,
babies too.
What's the ages?
I have a 6-year-old and a 16-month-old. So
Babies.
yeah. So
How do you
it's
balance
easy.
that?
It's easy. And when I say easy, I'm just saying they're number one.
1,000.
Period.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a parent. It's hard to father a black male. I'll be scared. And they're like, yo, you got a hoodie. Me and my wife were just talking like, yo, you got a hoodie on. You got to take your hoodie off while you're walking through the mall. It's like I'll be thinking about stuff like that. And that's like so terrible.
6.
Like, it's like he's 6 years old. But, you think about Trayvon. You think about whatever. It's like the innocence is taken from them just because of the color of their skin.
You know what? You guys got something in common. I mean, we're all fathers. But, my daughter's older. But, like, Q was he was getting settled last night. And he was like, I got to set my alarm clock for 4 for what?
Oh yeah, so I can talk to my kids when they go into school.
And what's the story you told me about when you be on stage?
Man, I haven't. My son's 6 years old, so times 6 years, 365 days. That's probably 18,000 days, something like that. No, I'm bugging. 1,800 days. Like he FaceTimes me before he goes to bed every night. I don't care where I'm at. I could be at Madison Square Garden. I could be at the Super Bowl. I could be at a club. I could be at a session. I could be, whatever. I'm answering the phone for my son to say goodnight.
1,000.
No matter what.
Always.
He says he's been on stage and he'll hit him out.
Absolutely. We be in the middle of mirrors. It's like in my mirror. And I'm like, I love you, son. I'll call you right back. God bless you. Good night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see his face. And I want him to know no matter what is going on, Daddy is going to be there for you. I don't care about this over my family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And having my wife as the backbone of our home
Anchor.
there, that helps for sure. And now I got a baby girl, so it's also changed my whole. You gotta tell me about that.
Yeah, baby girls, you be driving, all of a sudden you start crying thinking about it.
Yeah, dog. Like,
it happens, bro.
I'm changing her. I'm like praying over her body and her mind, and like it's just a whole nother mind trip. Both my kids, man, just praying for their safety. But yeah, like that's how I balance it. I know that if home is straight, everything else is easy. It could fall into place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all been there.
Yeah.
Not to put us out there, but it's like, you got that stomach hurt feeling. You can't even go to work. You be like, I can't even be my best because something is going on at the crib.
Oh, you're absolutely
You know
right.
what I'm saying? They be like, yo, what's wrong with you? You be like, oh,
It ain't right.
Like,
It ain't right.
So it's like I try to do my best, man, and make sure home is cool. I went home every weekend. Being out here, I just take the red eye. Like that 6 hours is worth me waking up Saturday morning and my son being like, "Oh, Dad's here to take me to my basketball
I just told
game."
Fuzz we've been traveling around like Fuzz. I gotta be back for my son's basketball game.
Straight
I don't
up.
care. Like I'm assistant coach. I gotta be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that means like this is
everything.
great.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on professionally. But to your point, like I can't be a public, a public success in a private failure.
Man, bro,
can't.
That's bar. That's a
Yeah.
bar.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
It's a super bar. So what's the next big gig you want to do or you got planned that you? Super Bowl is a bar. So now, like, what's the next big? It has to be something grand.
Yeah, man. So I've been working really close with Jimmy Fallon, and we have developed this show called That's My Jam. So we just shot our season 1.
DJ Active is on that.
DJ Active.
Shout out to my guy.
I got a whole Philly squad on there.
Yeah.
Clay Sears, Brian Fraser Moore, Omar Edwards, Eric Roberson is in the
okay.
band. Jay Nova. But so we're gonna shoot season 2 of that this year.
Oh.
And so that's really incredible, man. It's a fun music game show out of the brainchild of Jimmy Fallon. I want to produce and write a heck of a lot more.
What about scoring?
Score some films.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've gotten into that as well. My older age, man, it's just that
You ain't old.
Now listen,
I think Quincy Jones did Thriller at 50.
I got you, but this is what I'm saying, that's a great example. What I was gonna say is I used to be able to multitask very, very well, do 10 gigs, and I know all the music. Now I'm like, the level of the gig that I'm doing, it demands a lot more out of me, and I want it to be even greater than the last thing.
Yeah.
So Quincy doing Thriller at 50, he dedicated his whole time. He was doing Thriller.
Yeah.
He wasn't out with Sinatra playing no trumpet.
Brother
You know
Johnson
what I'm saying?
or
he wasn't with
James
Ray Charles.
Right.
Nah, he was doing Thriller, and he focused on that. So there's some things that when I'm writing and producing, I really want to. I have to scale back the outside and the noise, and really focus on that. And then, man, I don't know when this is airing, but I've just been named the 94th Academy Awards musical director.
What?
So I'm going to be MDing the Oscars this year, man. I'm really excited about that.
You can go home after that. You can go home.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. It's something that, like, technically was not on my bucket list, but God just keeps pouring down blessings.
So now you have an orchestra and your band?
So I'm going to have an orchestra and a band.
You got to get the picture with
Who calls you? And where's
so the
what's
network,
that called?
NBC, Rob Payne and Glenn Weiss, and I think it's been already announced that Will Packer is the producer this year. So he blackity black. I love him. Him and Shayla Cohen, man. And
shout out to Shayla.
Yeah. And,
what up, Shayla?
They hit me up. It was like, yo, and so that's one of the shows that I didn't notice that every year has a different producer. So Jesse Collins did it last year.
I guess it would.
Every year is a different producer. You know what I mean? So it's a blessing that
who's hosting this year?
We're gonna hold that.
Try to get him there.
Yeah, you see, he tried to get me.
Try to catch him off his
square.
square.
Catch me off. But on the short list and now long list, because of the state of the world and the industry that we're in, it's a lot of pop and hip hop on those song of the year.
Hell yeah.
A lot of our culture is in a lot of the movies, and we're infiltrating in a good way how excellent black people can be. Yeah. And so I'm excited, man, to run with that and to show the excellence. I got a killer team rocking with me. Derek Hodge gonna be my right hand man. Dante Winslow gonna be another one of my left hand man. Yeah. And I think it's going to be very, very special. So I'm excited about that, too.
Do Adam Blackstone have a signature sound?
Yeah, I think we have a BBE sound. I do.
Can you describe what a BBE? Because I feel like I notice in arrangements.
Yeah.
When I see you do any award show or when you're playing with certain things, I'm like,
when I was, first coming up with it, like, early Yay, stronger Yay, you know what I mean? And early Ree and Jill, even it was really about like having the live experience try and be just as good or better than the record.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so I really pride myself on enhancing what the people already came to hear. A lot of that goes to do with me being a movie buff as well, too. It's like I want it to sound like a trailer. Like I want
epic.
Just epicness. And so I was about to say, sometimes in soul music, neo soul, you can't make it that. But like, how can you change it enough that it's memorable with a hit or a chord substitution or a break? So, you know what I mean? Sometimes less is more. So it's like, let's just let the vocal ring out. I learned that from Jay-Z. He would stop the music and just on the can of P, my stamina be enough. You'd be like, oh, shoot, that was just as impactful of me playing some strings. Yeah. Him just rapping like that was like, okay. So I took that and made it like a vocal thing. I was like, Jill, we going to stop the joint and she just sing a cappella and He Loves Me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like a moment. You know what I mean? So things that I've taken from each of my artists' experiences, I think is the BBE sound. Now, like I said, we have the ability on TV to make it sound epic and big and do something that always enhances the vocal as well. There's a lot of times where bands, I think, personally overplay, and then sometimes it overshadows the vocal, whether it's a rapper or a vocalist. But, like, my sound is really, so my sound is to enhance the vocal and to do a break. If I'm going to do an accent, it's going to be because they sang or said something that requires that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the BBE sound. It's kind of taking that live experience to like a movie level. You know what I'm saying? Listening to your favorite song in in the biggest way possible. You know what I mean?
When I did my TV show in Philly Fuzz, I was honored enough to have the Origin Band.
Absolutely. Oh my
God.
gosh.
Adam Blackstone, they would come through a couple times.
Really?
Yeah. Like, are y'all still doing that?
Origin Band album this year for sure. We a group of brothers from Philly Fuzz that just church boys at heart.
Yeah.
We've played all over the world.
I swear, I always tell people church boys are the best musicians ever.
Man, I can't argue with you there. And we are just going back to our roots. No pun intended. We're going back to our roots, and our origin is Christ. And we gonna do our little our big, hopefully, Christian band thing. It's almost like an East Coast Soul Seekers.
Soul Seekers. I'm gonna say sound like Soul Seekers. Nissan and Warren.
East Coast vibes, but and then also our style too, because it's different.
It's needed though.
I think it's needed. We have some incredible special guests on our album because of who we rock with out in the world and on these stages. Pharrell, Common, Jill, Justin, like everybody. Our bass player who plays bass along with me, Wayne Moore, he's out with Beck right now. Wow. You know what I'm saying? My guitar player, Ray, he just straight up. Ray's doing Giveon, so it's a lot of just, our drummer and also co-founder Darryl Robinson, he just got off with Pharrell, so it's just a lot of talent that we want to show God how thankful we are for him putting us in those positions, and we're giving back to him by doing this album, Christian gospel record. So it's gonna be super ill. So that's
you
this
gotta
year.
put that out.
We got to do it. And then so the other thing I want to say, piggybacking off of what I just said with artists, is like we get in our own way, man. We've played with the best. We've been in the studio with the best, and so when we hear ourselves back, we like, man, would MJ be happy with that? We got to go, but. Would Quincy be happy? But the message is needed. Mm-hmm. So what I admire about these younger kids, the viral kids, or you start getting
putting it out.
Yeah, they just putting it out.
Putting it out.
They just putting it out. I come from an old school like Puff Daddy, like roll out. Yeah, roll out. This is what it is, but. These kids is just putting out their music, man. And if it catch, it catch. If it don't, 2 weeks later, they putting out another joint.
They moving on.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I'm learning. I try to learn something new every day. That's what I'm learning from that generation, man. They are just putting it out. And then I look at somebody like her music. Me and Fuzzy, we were fans of hers. But I look at one of her first big joints, Focus. My man DJ Camper, he had played that for me maybe like a year and a half before it.
DJ from the crib, right?
DJ from Atlantic City, Jersey boy, super producer, musician. But he had played that for me like a year, maybe a year and a half before it like popped. So that's the other thing that I try to infuse.
Patience,
man, and persistence. Because if you believe in something,
you're gonna be persistent at it.
You're gonna be persistent at it, and it's not a no is not going to hinder you. If you like, no, this record is fire. Yeah, I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? And there's dedication there as well. So what I do learn from some of the young people are like they moving on, but they have so much content, so they're able to do that. What I look at like the Her situation and a lot of other artists is like they believe in it so much they gonna push that to the max as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Same dedication to your craft, but just a different formula.
Got it.
One more question. This is some fuzzy geeky shit. Mm-hmm. How often is it a bass player need to learn how to play synth bass?
So because I was involved, I told y'all early, like I love pop music. Some of the bass lines I was hearing weren't electric bass.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, let me dive into what that is. And that ended up being a big part of my programming. And even going back to watching my dad play like left-hand bass while he's playing the chords, or whether it be at a gig or wedding or him playing by himself at church, it was like, bass was an important factor, and he didn't always have a bass player. You know what I'm saying?
So he would play it on the.
So he would play it on the synth bass. Moving forward, fast forward to when I heard, early Jill. I also rock with Vivian Green. Shout out to Vivian Green. Like she was, our Philadelphia like Mariah Carey. So it was like, she
She's
had
from Philadelphia.
Yeah, she's
from
super
Philly,
dope.
man.
Does
So
Kwame produce a lot of her stuff?
yeah,
now?
she
Yep.
does. Yep. And so
Good catch for us. Yes.
nice for us.
That's what I do.
So she had a lot of synth bass.
Yes.
And then going to the 5-spot, man, and living with Omar Edwards in his musical mind and Amir Questlove, I was listening to a lot of Dilla at the time. So Slum Village stuff wasn't always live bass either. And when you went and played that for a Quest, it was like, make it authentic. So what does that mean? Okay, sub bass. Let me roll the attack off of it. It's super subby. You play it like a sample, like Dilla was playing on the MP pads. Let me find that sound, like what it is. So that influenced my bass playing a lot too, because I was coming from a jazz place, going to school in Philly. I remember James Poyser was like, "Yo, listen to these records." He gave me Dilla, Slum Village. He gave me Pino Palladino.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gave me a lot of Jamerson. And he was like, this is what, our city, this is what our sound is. And so synth bass played a big part of how I was able to
Because I admire when I see a bass player get off his, he'll have it still strapped on and just go.
Synth bass played a big part of how I was able to transition to pop music. You know what I'm saying?
I can imagine.
Because going to Janet right after Kanye, it was like.
But did you do the Janet tour in Vegas?
No, I didn't do the residency. I started on her Rock With You tour, and then we went to like number one.
What's your favorite Janet song to play live? I'm gonna tell you what my favorite song.
What's your favorite song?
Go Deep.
Okay. I like
Listen,
that.
I'm gonna
That's a vibe.
I'm gonna give y'all a fuzzy secret. When I'm in my car playing music at ignorant levels, I'm either a bass player in my head or the drummer. Swear to God.
So
I'm either of those two.
I'm going to enlighten you that one of my favorite, I have two off the top of my head. It would be Love Will Never Do Without You, because I get to get my West Coast slap bass Terry Lewis on, right? But then, I don't know how many people know this, like my all-time favorite producer is Rodney Jerkins.
Okay.
So I play Feedback. Janet's record Feedback, and that joint slaps. I got that joint sounding like
the record.
Whoo, slaps.
Do you ever talk to Rodney?
I'm not connected with Rodney like that, man. Like I love that dude.
You never talked to him?
So we've connected a couple times, but like
that's the homie.
I want to be his homie too.
Please connect that. So, what's your favorite Rodney record that he's produced?
I know you were going.
I was not even going to ask the same question, but yeah.
No, it could either be What About All of the right? Brandy. Any Brandy record. I love. I love his MJ. You know what I'm saying? But I also love like Gina Thompson. The things you do.
Yeah.
Young Rodney.
Yeah.
Man, I like Destiny. I like Bills. Listen, man, I'm a Rodney guy. I got my MPC 2000 XL and I sounded like Rodney Jerkins for about 2 years. It was terrible.
It's a reoccurring question. Until we get Brandy on the show. It's a reoccurring question on the show. Shout out Brandy, the vocal Bible.
Bang bang.
What's the better Brandy album? Is it Full Moon or Never Say Never?
Full Moon changed my life, and I figured
you bitch you.
All right, we can go now.
That's it.
Let's wrap it up.
Hello.
So it changed your life. No, tell us why.
Full Moon changed my life. The songwriting, the sonic production. Right? Listen.
Yes.
I'm disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you.
Drake?
So listen to this.
Yeah.
20th anniversary this year. Full Moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm blowing Ryan Ramsey up.
I'm
I'm shouting him. I'm calling you out, Ryan Ramsey.
We just called you.
We need to do something. 20-year anniversary of Full Moon. Let's do it.
Last year, I think it was Never Say Never. It was 20 last year, maybe.
I don't know. But
Full
Full
Moon
Moon
is
the
but
one.
Full Moon also, listen, man, she was just singing about so much, like, and then the way she was riding the beats, bro, it was like, You know, that's
You talking about from a musical standpoint?
I'm sounding from everything.
Okay.
Sonically, her
I was
singing.
trying to get him on my side.
No, listen, it was
I
like
love the way the album sequenced.
the top to bottom, he is on there. Got some freaking
Warren
gospel
Campbell.
record on there almost. She got, listen.
Warren
she got
Campbell said
Teddy.
he tricked her into seeing that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Teddy Riley on there, really miss Toby.
And they did that in Miami when Teddy was working with Michael Jackson. Come on, get out my bag, man.
Listen,
Let's go.
Mike City, come on, you a club head.
But no.
Mike City on there.
That
Now
was
listen,
nutty. That was
never
nutty.
say never.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yes.
But top to bottom culture changer, Full Moon.
You think Full Moon was a culture changer more than
100%?
Never Say
bro.
Never was Boy Is Mine?
You going by hits,
Put that on
bro.
every.
You going
Yeah,
by
she had more
hits.
hits on that. Y'all
Full
crazy.
Moon, then
Listen,
Never
man,
Say Never.
but Boy Is Mine for sure. But you got to realize that Boy Is Mine was out that summer before
Yeah.
the joint even came out in February, March,
Yeah.
something like that. So
What was that? Angel in Disguise?
Angel in Disguise,
Fire.
cool. No, fire. But
crazy.
listen, you sound more like B-sides favorite songs
Wow.
than me. The reason I say that, Angel in Disguise didn't really play on the radio like that. You heard Full
They didn't
Moon.
tour on Full Moon either.
Yeah, they never toured.
They
on
never
it.
toured Full
They never
Moon.
toured on it, bro.
I disagree. I'm not gonna argue
Now
with y'all
listen,
musical.
I'm just a Brandy stan, so it's
Yeah.
like we could talk about that.
Nah, he
all
just,
day,
like, he-
but
Yo, I love the Never Say Never album. I think Never Say Never, song for song. We did like a song for song versus. I think Never Say Never will win. This is yes.
Yo, you
Okay.
sound crazy, bro.
it's hard to talk about. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. So I was like, now I'm arguing that she's better than herself.
Yes.
It's mute.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like Brandy's just Brandy.
You know, it's
man.
almost like the Off the Wall Thriller conversation I'll be having. Like, which one is the important album?
Yeah.
I feel like Off the Wall was set the bar high for
Yeah,
Thriller.
Off the Wall.
Well,
was-
no, we can say that Never Say Never set the bar for Full Moon,
Absolutely.
but we talking about personally life changing. Like when that intro came on, I was like, "What the heck
know.
am I listening
Yeah,
to?"
That was
you,
going
man.
crazy.
The computer.
You talking when the joke? And I
Brandy.
love you, babe.
I was like,
Still I love you, angel in disguise. Y'all tripping, dog. Y'all, I'm not trying to argue with y'all.
You
y'all,
definitely
y'all
bumped Full Moon
sonically-
more than you done Never
Of
Say
course,
Never.
of course he has.
facts.
Fact, me saying that's the same
I'm
with me.
back.
Listen,
flipped.
live, I rock with Brandy live now.
Yes.
She's one of the people that get me off my couch and play. Like
When she called you, definitly.
done.
And y'all do a lot of
ain't
Never
too
Say
many
Never.
people
And
like-
y'all do a lot of Never Say Never.
I'm letting you know that the set start with what about all of them? Like, boom,
Rodney was in his bag on that.
Listen, he was in his bag on Never Say Never too.
Yeah, he
though.
Yes, he
was.
was super. Okay.
Yeah. Now listen, a record that don't get a lot of play is Human. Her and Rodney's reconnection.
Reconnection, yeah.
You know, and the radio had changed then. Just in general.
Radio is whack. Let's be real. I come from radio. No. Radio and Fuzz is from
I get it.
radio is. It started when you do mix show is something different. I think you never had a mix show feel for R&B like Inner City.
Okay.
With Tiffany Bacon.
Yep.
It was around the 5-spot time in Philly. Shout out to Tiffany
Yeah,
Bacon.
she was able to put like Kendrick music, Soul Child, like a lot of the soul.
Insane.
That was our favorite, but she was able to play.
It was like
on
the
it.
We
wake
need to
up
get
show.
Dre and Vidal on the show.
Well, Dre lives in Philly. Vidal.
No,
I wanna get one of them.
Reverse. Yeah, Vidal is in Philly.
Shout out
Dre's
Dre
here.
and Vidal, man. They changed the culture sonically as well too. Not just Philly,
100%.
not just Philly legends. Like
No, bro.
Yeah,
One of
they
my
are-
they did one of what's one Rucker, Darius Rucker. One of his
Yeah.
first solo albums is done by them.
Yeah.
One of,
Fire-ass album.
one of
The
them
beast.
early Justin Timberlake joints is got
Yes.
Dre and Vidal all on it, and then I
Usher
remember
too. Don't
they
forget
brought
that.
they brought me into the Usher
Yeah.
joint,
Wow.
and we did Here I Stand together, but that was after they did like Caught Up and like
They had a run.
Superstar.
I want to have. I definitely want to talk to them about that.
Yeah, we just gotta get Vidal out here.
easy.
We get
Let's
Vidal
do
out
it,
here.
Vi.
Yeah, but
Dre Harris, Vidal Davis, man, like
Yeah, and they did
it's
my boy
nobody like
from
them.
Toronto. What's his name?
Glenn Lewis.
Glenn Lewis.
Yeah.
One of my favorite albums.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. That's top to bottom too.
Glenn
that was
Lewis,
ridiculous.
top to bottom.
Yeah,
Insane.
That's a top to bottom album. You can't.
facts.
All right. Well, we're gonna end this with
Yeah,
the
we
green
on the same page.
because we about to fight about.
They never
Green.
did a gospel album.
A what?
Dre and Vidal never produced a gospel artist.
Yeah, they produced Kurt Franklin.
Okay, yeah.
They were doing a
I
Kurt
bump all
Franklin
Kurt Franklin
joint.
out. We need to get that nigga on.
Who, Kurt?
Yeah,
yeah,
hell yeah.
we can get it. We can get it.
I like.
Dre and
What?
Vidal produced that Kurt Franklin joint, man. It's like crazy, bro.
Adam,
Yeah.
we,
You ever work
we
with Kurt
appreciate
Franklin?
this.
I work with Kirk all the time. That's my guy.
Yeah,
Uncle
he
Kirk.
cool dude.
Incredibly cool, man.
Yo,
Humble.
let me tell you what I like about any time Kirk Franklin drop an album, he always got some praise and worship, and he got something for the knock.
He
Something
got
that
some ratchet on
he got
there.
some ratchet, but it still got a message.
Yes, for
I
sure.
love it.
Yeah, he a real
one.
dude, man. I shout out to Uncle
We
Kirk.
got to get on
Let's
the
do
show.
it. Well, we may have to go to him. I think he's Dallas.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Well, listen, Adam Blackstone, thank you, sir.
man.
We appreciate
Thank
it, man.
y'all, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I appreciate the West Coast even embracing me always. And listen, man, I admire what y'all do. This whole podcast thing I've watched and heard so many gems, you know, here from Warren to Rance to Ant Clements.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, them is my dudes, and they always dropping knowledge, and y'all influence that with your questions. So, you know, I wanted to do the same thing I had been telling you, like, yo, coming out here, I wouldn't even feel right without doing the Super Bowl, without being on Fact. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
you know, thank y'all
We
for having
appreciate
me,
it,
man.
man.
I hope y'all enjoyed the
Oh, hell
halftime.
yeah.
You
Hell
dropped
yeah.
some gems.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy this, enjoy the halftime. Can't wait
Shout
for
out
the
to 50
Oscars.
Cent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What up, Fifth?
What up, Fifth?
But no, thank you, Adam.
Nah, thanks
this
for having me.
is the music director, Adam Blackstone. Let's give it up for him. FAQ Podcast, frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. Listen, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe, share, tell a friend, do all of that. And then if you would like to advertise, hit us up, fuzzyandq@gmail.com. We will see you next time.